Welcome back to another edition of Crash. Are you ready? This is your host, George Whitehurst Barry, and today, as usual, we have Mondays with Linda Runyon. Linda is a survivalist par excellence. She has spent literally decades living off the land with her extensive survival skills and specifically knowledge of abundant food wherever you are in the world, with the exception possibly of the extreme polar regions. She has survived with her excellent knowledge of edible wild plants. Linda, welcome back.
Good morning, George. Oh, boy. My surprise that last week I said I was going to have, I forgot to tell you. So I'm going to start with it so that we don't forget it. Those of you that are in touch with me during the week, you've all been waiting for this. Those of you that are tuning in new, you probably will use this in the future if you start learning all about your free food. I've always talked about the Wild Food Car Pack, the survival backpack, which I have had forever, like 25 years in my car. And I decided to do a list for you, sort of a little how-to. And if you are a student that has been learning one or two plants in your backyard, you can check them off on this list. And I'm going to send this to you free. We're not going to put this on our website, and we won't publish it as a published thing. But you can get it from me and start now thinking about it for next year. And I'm going to be covering it thoroughly someday, George and I. But right now I'm just going to tell you they're basic plants, amaranth, lamb's quarters, and I know people doing this right now, collecting the lamb's quarter seeds, which are everywhere, the red clover leaves and the purslane and the plantain leaves and seeds that come up when you mow your lawn and tell you to mow your lawn, and the curly dock leaves. Now, these are the 6 basic plants that I have in this backpack, but I have them in quantity because I know the nutrition connected with each one of these. And in the middle of our Essential Wild Food Field Guide, we give you the nutrition. We break it down to half a cup of half a cup of plantain leaves in your hand. What would that be worth? And knowing the nutrition, I figured it was worth to put up a sandwich bag, half a sandwich bag of each of these things in my survival kit. And there's several other plants and a few things from a health food shop that you could start on even now. And you would end up with my car pack. It's mine personally. Eventually, you will add or subtract on your own as you become a wild food expert. So to get it from me, all you have to do is write to me at P.O. Box 83. Write Wild Food Company, P.O. Box 83. Shiloh, New Jersey, 08353. And I'll send also be sure to put in at least 2 ounces of postage for Linda to be able to send you the information. She's sending the information free, but the postage is necessary to get the information to you. Obviously, Linda is giving a lot of information distilled over years and years, and literally giving a lot of it away, but not paying for the return postage. Thank you, George.
Be sure to just put in. That's why I'm mentioning it, because I mean you're being incredibly generous in providing the information for free, but obviously Linda cannot go negative on the sending of the information. So please do send at least 2 ounces of postage to get the information. I remember when you were living in the valley in Arizona, you showed me the backpack and an incredible amount of Absolutely incredible amount of distilled over years of trial and error and so forth. An incredible amount of survival material in a small, lightweight backpack. And also, we've talked repeatedly about how typically much more nutritionally dense the wild foods are than their domesticated cousins. An enormous amount of survival energy, readily assimilable survival energy in a small backpack.
Half a teaspoon or something can be equal to a whole jar of gelatin capsules or something.
Well,
really?
there's nothing comparable to this survival pack. I mean, it's got more in it with less weight than anything else I've seen, and that is available only from Linda Runyon. I've seen nothing else even remotely comparable to it. Linda?
Well, I'm sort of selfish because I figure if you make this thing for yourself, then you've become an expert just about in wild food, because just doing it is the thing. Experience is the thing. Reading it is one thing. But had I had books, they would have helped me a lot in the woods, believe me, and on the desert too. But it is for me to know that there are students out there, and I know them, they're listening now, that now finally have something that they can start working on. And then you work on your own. You work on your own additions from what you've learned and researched over the years. Okay, today is eating cactus. And we know, George, that this is something that we did in all the classes, and I don't think I ever had a desert walk without Willie Whitefeather's choya cornbread. He would make a big sheets of cornbread, and bring them in. In it would be small cubes of everything from prickly pear to choya cactus, no pollen.
Well, let me just add this now. This was Willie's working with Linda in the 90s and so forth. I would add today to make things like choya cornbread, make sure, in my opinion, make sure it's organic corn, because you can darn well bet the corn is one of the big four, along with canola oil and soy and cotton, that you can almost bet if it's not organic, it's going to be genetically modified. So
George, you're right.
Make it organic corn.
Right. They got to look for the organic bread mix, which we have. Okay.
And that's another point I want to bring up. The American public is not supposed to know, according to the government, that something's genetically modified. They have no right to have that on the label. But you can darn well bet these edible wild plants are not genetically modified. Back right after the break.